Hey, my name is Tom, and I'm going to introduce you today to the absolute best solution to your problem and the only solution to your problem, really, from a scientific standpoint as well as a health standpoint. And that problem you're suffering is a symptom called acid reflux. It's one of your symptoms of indigestion, used to be referred to as heartburn. So is bloating after eating, constipation, diarrhea, gas, pain after eating. These are all symptoms of indigestion. And before I get into the absolute best product and tell you what it is, I want to give you a little bit of scientific background so that you understand why it's important for you to take this product and consume this product from a health standpoint, which is the most important aspect of it. Um, as I said, you're suffering from symptoms, and one of the problems today in a lot of areas of medicine is the companies that manufacture solutions, they only treat the symptoms. They don't treat the cause. I mean, when it comes to healthcare, you want to treat the cause, not the symptom. You know, if you look at the majority of the remedies available on the marketplace, they all treat the symptom. You know, for acid reflux, you've got the over-the-counter prescription drugs that used to be prescription drugs, acid blocker drugs. You got things like Tums and Rolaids and Pepto-Bismol, all of these things to neutralize the acid in the stomach and the gas and such. So they're all just addressing the symptom and not the problem. The problem is indigestion. Indigestion is the inability to digest your food. And it affects you, first off, there's two ways it really harms you from a health perspective. First off, if you're not completely digesting your food, then you're not digesting your food down into the usable fuel and the nutrients that the body requires to heal, to regenerate, and to guarantee longevity, to make your body strong and healthy. You see, your body doesn't need protein. It needs the amino acids that proteins get digested into. It doesn't need carbohydrates. It can't use carbohydrates. The carbohydrates have to be first digested into simple sugars. And it can't utilize fat. It requires the fat digested into fatty acids. It's the amino acids, the simple sugars, and the fatty acids that the body requires at the cellular level in order for you to stay healthy. So what's causing your indigestion? And here's the key. And it revolves around something called enzymes. Enzymes are protein molecules that we make that actually not only carry a life force to them, but they act as biochemical, as actually catalysts for all biochemical reactions that occur within the body. If you were to take enzymes out of the equation, the body would die because nothing could happen biochemically. That's how critical enzymes are. And there are three types of enzymes in nature. The first that our body makes are known as metabolic enzymes. There are literally thousands of different metabolic enzymes. And what metabolic enzymes are is, in layman's terms, they're the construction workers of the body. They take all these nutrients and they build new tissues, new cells, new bones, new hair. They heal, they regenerate, they keep you young. They keep you, give you a lifetime of health. And also the research demonstrates, and by the way, one of the best sources to go and verify the information I'm sharing with you is a book called Enzyme Nutrition by Dr. Edward Howell. The book consists of tons and tons and tons of research from major universities and laboratories around the world with regard to enzymes. And one of the things that they discovered is all living organisms are given at birth a limited enzyme supply or potential to make enzymes. Since it's limited, logic would dictate you don't want to waste it. You don't, because the faster you use it up, the quicker you'll begin to degenerate, the quicker disease will set in, and the quicker you'll die. Because once you run out, nothing happens biochemically. So, it's limited, and therefore you don't want to waste it. And interesting, too, when the body makes metabolic enzymes, it only uses small amounts of the enzyme potential, which would make sense so it can last a long time. The second type of enzymes are what are known as food digestive enzymes, and these are found in all the raw foods. Raw fruits, raw vegetables, raw meat all contain the necessary enzymes so that that food can be completely pre-digested for the body, so the body isn't forced to make any digestive enzymes, and therefore it can allot its digestive enzyme potential to metabolic production. The third type of enzymes are actually enzymes that the body can make if necessary through the pancreas. So if the food enzymes are not there, then the body will be forced to make enzymes. And that's a big problem because Research also demonstrates that when the body makes food digestive enzymes, it uses massive quantities of the enzyme potential, as opposed to a little like what metabolic enzymes do. So when you eat, you're getting heartburn and all these symptoms, and you're not digesting your food. Here's what's happening. When you cook a food, doesn't matter whether you fry it, bake it, broil it, steam it, boil, microwave, or you process a food, the commonality is you're using heat. And heat is very destructive to these food enzymes. In fact, once the food reaches 118 degrees Fahrenheit or higher, which is all cooking will do that, and processing as well, you have now destroyed all the digestive enzymes that were in the raw foods that were there to pre-digest that food for you. Now they're not there. You see, in a normal scenario, if those enzymes are present, the food is raw. When you eat it, you chew the food, you rupture the cells and release the digestive enzymes that are in the food so that they can begin to pre-digest your food. And for the first half hour to 45 minutes, that's what should be taking place in your stomach. And hydrochloric acid is then brought in by the body to help liquefy the food so that the enzymes break down that solid food so that the enzymes can be more effective in their work. Now, if you heat a food or cook a food or process a food, there are no food enzymes present. When you eat that food now for the first half hour to 45 minutes, nothing's happening. There are no enzymes present. The body is now forcing the pancreas to crank them out, but it doesn't happen instantaneously. And as the hydrochloric acid comes into the stomach, it has nowhere to go but up your esophagus. Hence, you get your acid reflux, or what I've always called heartburn. It's not a disease, it's a symptom of indigestion. So, you've got that problem, and then you're not breaking the food down where you can utilize it. Now you're short supplying your metabolic production because you're forcing the body to make massive quantities of digestive enzymes. It's not a good scenario, folks. I can tell you firsthand. I 16 years, it was my early 30s when I started to experience my first symptoms of indigestion. I used to get heartburn after everything I ate. I'd always feel bloated after I ate, even if I didn't eat a lot of food. Occasionally you'd get the gas and the constipation and the diarrhea would come along. Everybody's different. Some people suffer in one area over another, but you're still suffering from the same cause. And I started taking the product that I'm going to recommend to you about 16 years ago. And it was amazing that the very first time I took it, I was like, wow, I don't feel bloated. And then, I didn't get heartburn. And then the next day, I didn't get heartburn, I didn't feel bloated. And the next day, no heartburn, I didn't feel bloated. And the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And this went on. I've never looked back. I've never had heartburn again. I mean, occasionally I might get it once in a while, very rarely. And it's usually not that it's the acidy food. But it's pretty much gone. And I feel like $1,000,000 because now I'm not wasting my enzymes. I don't get sick as often. I just, it really is so key that you get on this product. But what you need to do, the solution to the problem is quite simple. You can't eat everything raw. Obviously, you can't eat raw chicken, you can't eat raw pork, you can't eat raw turkey, you can't eat raw steak. Some people do, but most wouldn't. You need to cook some things. You just need to cook them. So the logical solution would be, can we add the enzymes back in with our cooked foods? And absolutely you can, through supplemental form, provided you're taking the right supplement, digestive enzyme supplement, because they're not all the same. Many of them are ineffective because they don't contain all the necessary enzymes required to break the food you eat down into the raw materials. So you have to be cautious there. But if you add these enzymes back in with your meal, it's actually as if the food were raw, even though it was cooked, because those enzymes will pre-digest the food for your body, and your body won't be forced to make digestive enzymes, and it can focus its enzyme allotment to metabolic production. You're creating homeostasis. You're following the laws of nature. You're going back to doing things the way they're supposed to be done. So I'm going to introduce you to the solution on my next video, short video, because I'm also going to actually demonstrate these enzymes for you. You'll see them live before your very eyes. You'll see them actually work. And I'm going to introduce you to a little bit more background on myself and something I've been doing for a number of years. I'm actually what's known as a microscopist, and I do what's known as live cell analysis. I work with holistic clinics, and I've been able to actually see the effectiveness of this product on hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people over the years. So I'm going to actually introduce you to live cell microscopy and talk to you a little bit about that, demonstrate the product for you as well so you can physically see the product work. And then there will be a link where we can get you to a product. At least try it for 30 days. I guarantee you, you will never stop taking it. You'll love this stuff. But here's another very interesting fact I'm going to leave you with before we end this first video here. And research shows that only man and his domestic animals suffer the ravages of disease. And only man eats his food devoid of the digestive enzymes that were in the foods and feeds enzymeless dead food as well to his domestic animals, his pets. You see, wild animals in nature rarely die of disease. But take that animal, put it in a laboratory, and feed it enzymeless food like man consumes, and guess what? Those animals get the same diseases man gets. So there's a correlation there. We're the only ones, ourselves and we get disease. Same was true of the Antarctic Eskimos also. Before Western culture, they were discovered by explorers. Their diet consisted of pretty much raw food, raw blubbers, raw fats. They ate raw fats and they didn't get heart disease. Why is that? We're told we're not supposed to eat fats. We'll get clogged arteries. Well, because raw fats are rich in lipase, the enzyme that breaks it down to fatty acids, and they utilize it for energy because the fat was raw. It was loaded with lipase. So pretty much everything they ate was not cooked. It was very rich in digestive enzymes, and they were very healthy. Medical people found them to be extremely healthy. But as they began to adopt Western culture and they began to eat cooked and processed foods, guess what happened? Disease began to show up. So you see there's a direct correlation between this and these digestive enzymes and the importance of them, and your indigestion is telling you you've got a problem and you need to fix it. And don't fix the symptom, fix the problem. And you'll do that by taking digestive enzymes. So we'll talk a little bit further. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video. You'll really be fascinated to learn a little bit more about what I did. I'm going to show you some photographs of some very interesting things, and you're going to see the product work right before your very eyes. See you on the next video.